So I am a little bit sick, so bear with me. But I just uploaded a video. There we go. About how can we tell if somebody is a narcissist. And this person went on to tell their story. When it's from one person, it definitely helps to know both sides of the story, because everybody has different perceptions on certain things, but there are certain things that you can look out for that will show you that somebody is a toxic person. So there are relationships that sometimes it gets toxic, it gets out of hand, but if you can reset it, reboot it, both on the same page to where you want to work through things. But this person had been discarded. That's already showing that the person didn't have the emotional availability to work through things. There are people that will run away from any different kinds of traumas where it can be overwhelming. So we have to understand our person. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, you never really know who that person is because of all the lies. So it's really hard to make wise choices on knowing what to do. But when somebody discards you without a second thought, a lot of times it shows just how surface level the relationship was, to where they have no empathy towards your feelings, no empathy towards working through it, what they're destroying. A lot of you have had families that have been destroyed. And I see Gregory and Wayne and Donna and William, Brian, everybody. Good to have everybody. Hi, Logan and Boy D. Gray. So Jim is here. Feel free to join in. We're going to talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about, but I did pick the topic based on that viewer topic request. So if you guys are struggling with something, I am here to help you through certain things, a little perspective on relationships. I am trauma informed and I have lots of certificates, also certified to teach psychology. And Daniel, hi, good to have you. Philip, Hollywood, TSM, baby. Good to have you guys. How's everybody going? Oh my gosh. Santi? Is that how I say that? Terry and another Cindy. I am Cynthia Schiller. So yeah, I grew up as a Cindy. So how's everybody doing today? But a lot of us have had relationships that possibly could have been saved, but they start going toxic based on things that have been in our past. And everything that we say, everything that we do is related to how we interpret our world. And it's going to be different than anybody else. Everybody has their own perceptions on certain things, what they feel is acceptable, polite. And, there is like the moral compass. And sometimes we just want to have fun. So we put aside that moral compass. But lies are, even white lies can destroy certain relationships. And when people aren't open or willing to be vulnerable, that it continues this toxicity. If somebody's willing to work through things, you have to express what you're feeling. And what are you saying? Dogs don't care. We never work that way. Yeah, dogs don't care. That's true. My dog's been so sweet and loyal. I don't have to talk through it. And thank you for following Alaskan Earth Angel. I love that name. Are you from Alaska? You're just an Earth Angel. I like that. And thank you for joining. Yeah, it's easier when you don't have to work through things where you do have an animal. There are great supports that you can get from pets. But, how can we grow as a person? How can we bring the best of ourselves? I was watching this TikToker, and she had one of those reborn babies, those babies that are a lot of times a woman who has had a miscarriage or a woman that can't conceive might be drawn to those babies. And she carries it around like it's her own child. So she was asked, why do you have this baby? And she said, well, I'm having a hard time conceiving, and it's my comfort. So there are times that we have a certain level of comfort. Animals can help. Sometimes those dolls can help. But there was also a man who had a whole family who had gotten killed. And so he had these like stuffed replicas of his family. And it was 2 children, a wife, but he continued on in this fantasy world. living his life as if his wife and his 2 children were still there. So there is a time where it's not willing to deal with the reality at hand. So while it is comforting to her to have this crutch, she needs to realize that maybe I can't conceive. Without sounding judgmental, she was overweight. Is she taking care of her health to optimize her body to have a baby? Because there are certain situations that we can make better when we're in optimal health. So is it healthy sometimes to rely so heavily? And is it Bojo or Boho? Rome is here, snack pack, big country, and feel free to join in. Thank you for that like. And oh my goodness, I don't know. Please let me know if you guys can. Please let me know if the chat is working. Okay, there we go. I've had problems with some chat things. Want you to reminisce on how nervous you were the very first time you went live. Skippy has fun. Who cares? Yep. Actually, I'm pretty good about that. I am a teacher, so I've taught everything from pre-K 3 all the way up through college level. I've also done acting, so for me, it's not that hard to go live. But the part that was hard was kind of figuring out, like, do I know what to do? And the part where I've gotten nervous is on TikTok. You can accept people onto your screen to kind of chit chat, and I have no idea how to do that. So yeah, I tried that, and I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this. And so I tried it twice. So the first time I just logged off, but the second time I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And I had 3 people that were Spanish speaking. So I'm trying to ask them to log off using like sign language type stuff. And I do know a little bit of Spanish. So I was trying to, say I'm sorry. And so that was a little hectic. I still don't know how to do it. I'd like to have you guys interact with me. I know there are TikTokers that do that. I would like you guys to have your opportunity, but there are times that people are inappropriate. So how do I click them off? When I teach online, there are mute buttons. So that makes it easier when somebody's being inappropriate, or you can kick them out of the classroom. So just trying to maintain a healthy community for you guys where we can talk freely about things, but also weed out the crazies. So guess what? What, Scott? Chicken butt. What do you want to tell me? So what kind of things do you like to do, Skippy? That's fun. But I definitely enjoy it. I kind of want to do this full time. If you guys can support me, I will quit my job and be here like 8 hours a day for you. How's that? That would be my dream come true. There's a lot of information that I've seen. Also things, just going through my mind. I had this one thing that's kind of controversial, and I'm trying to figure out what should be said and what shouldn't. Sometimes we want to be our true, authentic self, but we also have to be compassionate. And it's something that deals with the difference between secular and like the religious, spiritual aspect of certain things, why we see things certain ways. And I had this one person who I need to reply to, but I'm just trying to word things appropriately, because sometimes I see, like I have one friend who's pretty spiritual, spot on with his ins and outs of the Bible, but he also makes excuses for his behaviors that aren't necessarily either godly or helpful to his own life. And it's the excuses. Sometimes we just chalk it up to, I'm just human. Well, we're here on earth. We're here to grow, and we're all going to have setbacks, but sometimes those crutches will keep us from completely growing. So thank you, Skippy. I'm glad you like my excitement. You're retired and getting ready to RV full time, ready to go and have fun. That's been crossing my mind. I've been looking into different kinds of like camper vans, things like that. I just bought a house on the lake. So I'm like, what am I thinking? I finally have exactly what I want. But it's only, for a couple months out of the year, and then it snows because I'm in Michigan. So feel free to join in. Let me know if you guys have any questions. But yeah, retirement. I know a lot of us work so long and so much of our life goes into work that we have to take a step back and realize that, if you have little ones at home, that this is your time to enjoy them, to focus on them and get the most out of it. We have so many pressures that sometimes we lose sight of what's really important. And hindsight is 2020. But listen to your elders. There's a lot that you can learn from. And I wish I took people's advice way back then, but I'm here to share advice and hope that sometimes it might resonate with some of us because I've been through those narcissistic relationships. There's things that I could have done different. Mine weren't like extreme until after the discard. So there are people who, as long as things are going good, they'll be good to you. But if they feel things didn't go their way, that things can get extremely toxic and they're controlling, they're spiteful, vengeful. I don't even know how you say it. But where do you want to go? Are you in the US? There's so many places. Hi, Angela. So I got one more week where I'm going to be able to focus on you guys until I start school. And then hopefully I can still do at least an hour or two a day to bring the channel to you guys. So feel free to show a little bit of love. And, it's open to talk about anything. On August 11th, you're getting ready to drive from Mexico to the Arctic to the Arctic Ocean. Okay, well, good luck. How are you going to do that? And you're going in August. I hope it's not. Are you talking? Oh, I guess you could. Could you, like, does Alaska touch the Arctic Ocean? I bet you could. That's cool. I'm from the east side, so I don't pay attention to geography, and I'm a teacher. Isn't that crazy? I think you can. Or even in like Canada. So that is cool. Oh my gosh. Maybe there's a way that you and I can like screen together so you can bring that beauty to the screen. Then after that, it's a national parks tour. How exciting. Skippy says it's crazy, but Alaska has the same seasons as New Mexico and Arizona. I know my cousin moved out too. Hey, Virago, good. Thank you for letting me know that the text is working. How exciting. So yeah, our bucket list. So many of us forget to do things on our bucket list, or we live our whole life and wait to do things until we're retired. Skippy, is this your first time like checking off some of those bucket list things? Because we have one life and we never know what's going to happen next. So, Virago, what has been new with you? I'm still fighting this cold. Been miserable for a week, but finally getting a little bit better. The Arctic is too cold for you. I agree. 70 degrees is too cold for me. It really is. That's so sad. So Skippy says, yes, I just retired last Halloween. So the bucket list is long and you're ready to tackle it all. I'm excited for you. I would love to retire right now and just do that, travel the world. And I want to go back to China. I really loved China. Moondoggy is here, but Virago says, LOL, ain't it summer in America? It is perfect. It's actually really hot. I only have air conditioning in my bedroom. So I'm sitting in my dining room area and a little hot. So it's beautiful though. I'll take it over the cold weather. But Virago, how are things been going with you though? Skippy says, I've never been to that side of the world. My relatives are in Germany, Austria, and Italy. I know one of my bucket lists is to go to the Netherlands. That's where my family's from. And it'd be really interesting to see just some more of the different cultures. I know I teach English as a second language, And there are differences in cultures, how they see family, and that can lead to different, mental health, whether it's better or worse. You're great. Thanks. Oh, you retracted it. Say hi. um, yeah, family is so important, and things are different than they used to be in the old days. There is some things about the olden days that are kind of nice, where the families kind of stay together a little bit more. The more technology that we have, the more opportunities, international jobs, and the travel. We're able to utilize planes to get different places, and as the technology grows, it starts getting cheaper. I know my dad's first calculator was $800. It's the same kind of calculator that you could get for $1 at the Dollar Tree, $1.25 now. So, Virago says, I'm great. Say hi to Mallory. I will. She's coming over in the morning. So Mallory will love to hear that. And yeah, she's a good friend of mine. I get to babysit her kids. Skippy says yes. And we got lots of different people joining in. So feel free to hit that love. But yeah, she's a good friend of mine, and it's nice having friends. There are people that are our true, genuine friends, and others that are not. And there are people. Thank you for the love. That are there as long as you serve their purpose. I had to extend some grace Saturday with a friend of mine that was supposed to stop by, and they're going through a lot, and they forgot about me until like 7 o'clock at night. And they had told me, why didn't you remind me? And oh, what happened? Oh, dang it. And there are times that we can remind somebody, but there's also times where it's like, I just won't give you a hard time, but you should remember me. I shouldn't have to remind you when you've been asking me for how long to hang out, but I'm not mad at her. It's not a pattern. So patterns are important to realize. Virago says, I think it's hard to not know if you're even if your ex is a narc. It is hard to know because we don't even necessarily know what the truth is, so they can say, I had a great time. And, then you break up. Did they really have a great time, or were they embarrassed about you? Or were they projecting certain things? It is extremely hard to tell that they're a narcissist. Sometimes people have good intentions, but they just don't say it the right way. Maybe they comment on your body because they are concerned about your health, but they say it in a toxic way, or they are a little too busybody-ish with certain things. And sometimes we got to know our place. I had a person text me today where they were like, I had this neighbor, and I gave the dog a sleeping pill. Because there was a lot of, what is going on? Oh my goodness. That they gave their neighbor's dog a sleeping pill because of all the fireworks that are going on. We got to be careful. Like sometimes that seems like, oh, that's really compassionate. You thought about the dog, and is it his place to make that decision? Also, does he know the background? So there are times that somebody might mean good, but it's not their place. So, depends on what the outcome is. Sometimes, yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't agree with him doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, sometimes you think that you're doing the right thing, and it gets hard because there's like moral responsibility, legal responsibility, and when it's something with medication, just like I'm babysitting tomorrow, I cannot give those kids even like Tylenol, aspirin. There are people who have never had kids, so you have to be careful. You might not know that you can't give aspirin to a child because they're at risk of Rise syndrome, which, can be quite detrimental to a child. So just because you think it's a good idea doesn't always mean it is. So that's where the communication comes in. And, just because you think something's a good idea doesn't necessarily mean that the person that you're trying to help is going to think it's a good idea. But when you're in a relationship too, sometimes, husband and wife or whatever might have disagreements on what is good. So one might think it is a good idea, to medicate the dog during the fireworks, and another thinks it's bad. And that's where, it can get really hard. How do you pick who's right? How do you agree or disagree? And communication is key, and also compromise, not just necessarily communicating, but also compromising. We're not always going to get our way. And, there are times it's going to be a judgment call. There usually is one person that is stronger in the relationship. And, you know, uh, that makes it hard that with this women's lib, a lot of women want a bigger say in things. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. Um, Whether that's right or wrong, it makes it more difficult. You can't just go, okay, he can decide. Virago says, I think we can disagree, but we don't need to fight. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big to do. And a lot of people get triggered by certain things. And a lot of it is based on upbringing, on what you feel is right, what you feel is respectful, disrespectful, and how do you navigate that. So once we start getting into that like triggered state, a lot of things don't sink in, and we don't process things the correct way, or we don't understand fully because we're in that triggered state. It is really interesting how the brain works. It was kind of neat. I saw this thing about the coal miners, and I think it was up until 1972 that they had like horses that would go down into the mines. And then 1972, I believe, was the last horse that was utilized to pull these carts full of coal. And once they got out into the sunlight, many of them lived their whole life underground. But this one was set free, and it's blind. So why do they become blind? Horses, I don't know, how long do horses live? 16 years? 35, I think 35 years. But why do they go blind? They go blind because of adaptations. And that's like, it helps with the hearing. They can hear better. So if there's no light down there, they're compensating. Their body is adjusting. But to do that, it gets rid of a certain thing to accentuate the other thing. And when you're in a toxic relationship, it's almost like that horse is outside of the environment it should have been in. It should have been in, a beautiful pasture. That's where it's going to thrive. It's going to be able to hear, see, taste, smell, everything. But when it's in an unnatural, we'll say unnatural situation, that adaptations start to occur. So when we're in these relationships with a narcissist, we start having adaptations. Going blind doesn't sound like a good thing. It does help with the hearing in that situation, in the cave. That's what they needed most. They needed to be able to hear. So when we're in these toxic relationships, we are going into survival mode, like that horse in survival mode. He's in an unnatural state, surviving. So when we're in a toxic relationship, that is not the type of relationship we were meant to have, but we're in survival mode. And, once we get out into that world where we're either discarded or we leave, and now we're in a new type of relationship, the adaptations are still there, just like the horse when he comes up here. But luckily for us, there's adjustments that we can make, the way that we can grow. There is brain damage that occurs, but the brain is neuroplastic. So there are ways that we can get back to being healthy, but you're going to be on high alert. It's going to feel awkward and confusing, just like the horse. If they come up, they're like, it's so different. They have to adjust to it. But I want you guys to talk to me. Tell me what you guys want to talk about. KK is here. We got lots of different people. Just so you know, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook right now. But I'd love to hear what you guys like to talk about, because it's sad. The divorce rate, the narcissism rate is skyrocketing. Everybody, it's that dog eat dog world, and people are just striving to get to the top. We're also working super hard. Things are expensive. People, are really stressed and going into survival mode, that sometimes, they feel like they can't get ahead or they get depressed. But Greg is here. Got lots of people. Somebody's got to tell me how to do that, where I get these invites and I just don't know how to hang it up. But we're doing great on TikTok. We are popular live. I appreciate everybody's love and support. I'd like to continue doing the live, so feel free to hit that like button. Let me know that you are on board too. And Judith is here, and I see people peeking in. Good to have everybody. But each new day, we're all in different stages of the healing process, or learning how to navigate this crazy world. Things are constantly changing with each generation. Each generation sees things differently. So Virago says, yeah, but it's important to not lose yourself in survival mode. And that's one thing that happens a lot. Thank you for bringing that up, Virago. In toxic relationships, is we want the relationship to work, that we try so hard not to rock the boat, not to, misunderstand things. So when you're with a narcissist, it almost like blows your mind, where you're like, what did I do wrong? And so now, for me, what I would do is I would look at every possible angle. And, a lot of them give you the silent treatment, or they don't text back for a long time, and it starts getting confusing. So if you can't communicate, wait to talk to people on the phone. Text, I think, has made relationships more difficult as far as depth, authenticity, to where, people expect immediate response. And people use text as weapons, like or manipulation. You see people all the time like, yeah, I could text them back right now, but I'll make them wait. And yeah, I'd like to know what everybody's opinion is. What is a polite amount of time before you return a text to someone, or before you would expect a text from a friend or a family member, to where there are times like when it starts feeling disrespectful, or why aren't you getting back to me? It starts making you feel like you did something wrong. Have I ever kicked a guy in the nuts? No, I have not. But in 5th grade, I dated a guy May 6th through May 26th. And I didn't kick him hard, but it was just like a dang it. We broke up. So the best 20 days of my life just ended abruptly at camp. Because of Tony. He liked Tony better. But no, I haven't. And would I, if I asked a guy to, is this a fetish? It's not a healthy fetish, if that's what it is. No, I would not. I had one guy, it was really weird talking about that. I went to see the fireworks in St. Joseph, Michigan, and I'm walking down the street right by the beach. And this one guy is like running, and he stops in front of me, and he's like, can you do me a favor? And I'm like, what? And he's like, you punch me in the stomach. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, just do it. Just punch me in the stomach. And I'm like, and he started telling me that he had a cramp and he just wanted to get punched in the stomach. Don't do it. I didn't. It was the weirdest thing, but it's like, is this really like going to help with your cramps, or is it like a fetish thing or a control thing or a setup to where he's going to file some assault charges, or is it just his opening line? Is that a flirt? But no, I don't hurt people. If you paid, no, no, I don't want to hurt people. And that's the thing, money is money, but we also, there's times it's okay to walk away from some money, but I would wonder why he would want to get hurt. I know some of the sexual fetishes do deal with pain, and sometimes we gotta look, why does somebody want to inflict pain? Virago says, but people do run out of data sometimes. That's true, but not so much anymore because it is super, super cheap. Well, I don't know. I only pay $43 a month. So there are times, but if you're middle to upper class, you should be able to pay your bills. I know it's hard for some people too. Also, they have government programs. How does that work? To where they have different phone options to where it's paid for. And I know, like, if you're close friends with somebody, maybe you're on Facebook with them, and I have friends who don't pay a cell phone bill and they can still message, but maybe they're not getting the text. So yeah, good point. We never know. But what do you guys think? What is a common respectable amount of time that somebody gets back to you? Because there are people that don't get back to people. So it's really hard to have relationships sometimes. And then also too, some people start relying on it. So they forget to talk. And, I'm guilty too. I have certain friends, you just check in, and it's better to have a phone conversation. You're going to have a deeper relationship and feel a little bit more fulfilled. So Virago, are you guilty of running out of data? And you'll notice I say data and data interchangeably. So Mike, do you pay people to do that to you? Oh, Cindy, I'm a Cindy. Got lots of Cindy's today. So cell phones back when I was 17, 18, I got my first cell phone. That was expensive. It was like $900 or so. I can't even remember, but it was very expensive. Your answer is 2 rows up. Oh, if not busy, then 10 minutes. If busy, not more than a day to reply. Yeah, and I think, just like I was sick this past week. Hello, Fred. Thank you for calling me beautiful. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's nice if somebody gets back to you in the same day, but just like, I've been sick, and I was sleeping like 20 to 23 hours. Just got up to let my dog out or for myself to use the bathroom. Really didn't even eat. So, sometimes there's certain things like that, but usually, yeah, in the same day, like, or at least the next day is what I think. And then, like mine will go like 6 days and then they act like nothing's wrong. So you're like, what is going on? And yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, why is it so difficult to be respectful? And, I know we all get busy, but midnight is here. So we got to know who our people are. And sometimes you think, well, I'll just talk to them. But it's really nice to just bring it full circle. That's where I think some people get anxious. And when, what part would we play in causing somebody to be anxious? So the narcissist, a lot of time with those silent treatments, they cause good people to become anxious because it's unreliable. And, people do have certain patterns. You can give a little bit of grace, if you have certain friends that are like that. But, why are we putting so much effort into it? So there are different categories where people fit into our lives. Are they just acquaintances, co-workers, or deep, true friendships? And what is going on? My phone keeps dying. I got 3 platforms going. But Raymond is here too, Mr. Papa Giorgio. Mr. Papa Giorgio. Virago says, but sometimes people are going through stuff and not in the mood to be talking to people. I know. And what's sad though is it makes sense. There are people that deal with things quietly by themselves. It's nice if you can still acknowledge, like, hey, I'm going through a hard time. But we have friends that it would be nice to talk through it. Sometimes we don't realize how we got people there for us, and sometimes we start feeling alone. But you're right. There are people that sometimes they just need to process things, or they're not quite sure, just like, let's say I went in for cancer testing and I don't know the results yet. And I don't want to like upset other people or cause worry to them, but there are times people wait to know certain information before they share things. But it's always nice to just acknowledge, like, I'll get back to you next week. Nice and simple. But I think we're in a different world where it's not as respectful as it used to be, which that's my take on it. People don't communicate like they would, or they don't want to offend people, so they just don't necessarily say certain things. But yeah, there are times that, people are going through too much, which is, sad that they don't rely on their friends during that time. And, a healthy way, let's see. Oh, hi, Bill. Hello. I got some fluffy hair going on today. It's pretty humid here. What about you guys? It was a beautiful day today. Absolutely amazing. But I slept through till 5 o'clock today, 5 p.m. because I still don't feel good. I got one more week to feel better. It's been going on 6-7 days. And how long has it been? No, longer than that. No, 8 days. 8 days I've been sick. So I'm on antibiotics. My throat's feeling a little bit better. So Phil, what have you been up to? Everybody's allowed to join in. Tell me what you would like to talk about. Virago says, LOL. That's what I have against the people around you. No respect. The respect level has gone down. And as a teacher, I see it happening with the kids. And it's just, we are in for really hard time. I see some, who was it? I want to say Tom Cruise. I can't remember who it was. I could be completely wrong on that, but who was it? Mayim Malik. I can't remember how she says her name. Blossom. Yeah. Her name's hard for me, but I maybe it was her that says she doesn't have her kids say please and thank you, because it's like a power thing. So I could be wrong on the names, but there are certain people that are purposely teaching not to say please and thank you, which, it's just a respect thing. I think it's important to acknowledge, we should be grateful for certain things, and it's not necessarily a power thing. But, there are times we have to ask for something, and, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? No pleases and thank yous. I think that's important, but the respect has changed. I see it in the school system. I also am starting to see like a lack of rules to where, we all have choices, but we're giving kids, I think, a little too many choices because we don't always have choices. I can't go to my boss and choose what time I want to start. There are certain things that are required. Virago says no please equals no help. No please equals no help. I agree. We should, I like the please. It's respectful. Like, you're asking somebody to do something for you. You should be respectful and thankful. And if you don't want to show that you're, have gratitude. Phil says psychosomatic. Psychosomatic for what? My cold? But yeah, we could talk about psychosomatic. So maybe I am psycho. So psychosomatic is when you kind of bring about your own illnesses, and there are certain illnesses that will come from being anxious or worried. Mine probably, I was a little anxious about this upcoming school year and kind of stressing over some of the things that I was facing. So that could have been part of it. And definitely sick though. Uh, but it can wear you down. And when we are under stress, we can have more susceptibility to different diseases, illnesses, and it was draining. And sometimes our body just crashes. So we have to be careful that we're in the right type of situation for us. There are certain jobs that are extremely stressful to people, that it's detrimental to your health after a while. Virago says you can't demand for help. Yeah. Virago says the fear of the unknown. Yeah. The fear of the unknown was part of it. It's like, oh, also the fear of the known. I'm like, do you guys know what you are asking me to do? You're asking me to do almost impossible. So as this little people pleaser, where I kind of struggle with that, I ended up discussing it. And I'm like, you guys want me to double my workload? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was really stressing about it. And I'm like, I can't do it. I finally told them. Luckily, they listened to me and agreed to not double my workload. That would have been miserable. We'll see how it goes, because they wanted me to teach 3 levels of English plus health English is with an English as a second language twist. And with the prep, if you think about like elementary school, how they have all these little gadgets and coloring sheets and cutouts and put togethers, and it's a lot more work when you're doing like the beginning of English, trying to teach them certain things and then teaching them high level stuff with basic. This is what's hard about teaching it at the high school level, because we don't really focus on the basics and giving them that English base, where we're trying to teach them English, but at the same time we're teaching them like high level high school stuff. And I think from my recollection is the things that they're learning now, are higher than what we learned when I was in school. But, they're rushed through things. They're overwhelmed. And I don't think a lot of kids enjoy school. It would be kind of nice if we could kind of focus a little bit more on the talents of the individual kids, to where, I know some kids don't like gym, some kids don't like art, but they're like forced to take it. And, when you start doing that, there's also a resentment that builds up to where now they don't want to do it ever again. So, have I ever met a vampire? Mitchell asks. Not that I know of. Are vampires real? I don't know. Are vampires real? Maybe on Halloween. And Is a Star is back. Good to have you back. I remember you. Have I ever met a vampire? What an interesting question. But the fear of the unknown can cause us a lot of anxiety. And energy vampires. Yes, I have. That is true. Energy vampires, if that's what we're talking about, I most definitely have. And, give me a thumbs up or a heart if you guys have ever had somebody, you just walk in the door or you sit next to someone and you can feel the energy shift. That's why I did that little rice experiment, because I was thinking about different buildings I've been in, to where you walk. Oh, thank you. Oh, I've got lots, lots of hearts. Like, yes, I have definitely experienced that. Is this says, hi, sweetie. How long I ain't see your lovely self? How things with you, darling. I've been sick all week. I'm finally feeling a little bit better. I'm still extremely drained, but I'm able to talk. Still have kind of a scratchy throat, but thank you for asking. On antibiotics. I think I had like strep throat and the flu, and I was bedridden for like 22, 23 hours a day. So I woke up at 5 p.m. today. It is now like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I've been awake for that 8 hours and I'm ready to go to bed. But I wanted to log in with you guys real quick. Did you guys survive without me for a week? But I was on last night. I did go on last night and I'm feeling good enough to continue this. But the energy vampires, there are exchanges of energy. And I need to get deeper into that because, what's interesting is they say that you attract people on your same energetic level. But it's almost like the narcissist. They're in a different energy. And they see our happiness, they see certain things, and they want that energy, and so they take it from us, as opposed to two people on a certain energy wavelength, and they grow together. But over time you feel like you're growing, and the narcissist like loves it that they start taking and taking, and there's times it can take years for it to unfold. But I know that things get into the discard stage when we start standing up for ourselves, that it's two people who become needy. And I don't mean that in a bad or judgmental way, but we need some peace in our life, and we're struggling for that. We're struggling to understand our person or what's going on. How many deaths do I need to go through? Dreams are beautiful and forever. How many deaths? Hold on. Hi, Michelle. I'm asking, Mitchell asked if I've ever met a vampire. Yes, Mitchell, I'm asking if you've met one. Isa says, you have come, Trini. Oh, I don't know. What flag is that? And visit would love experience. What are you trying? Is that a magnet? Mitchell says, how many? I don't know what you mean by that. I got one new message. Izza, what would you like to talk about? Definitely. So Mitchell says Mitchell's dead. How do you know you're dead? How do you know you're dead? And are you dead inside a person, living through them? But Izza, yes, you may ask me something personal. Go for it. We'll see what they say. Uh-oh, what's this personal thing? Hi, Ray. Good to have you here. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to talk to. You can ask me personal things. Let me plug this in real quick while you are typing that. But these are really, are these all the same? I got this cord where it's got like 3 different things. They're supposed to be all different sizes. This one looks the same. I don't know. Oh, maybe this one is the same. I don't know. This one's not working for me though. There we go. All right, let me plug this in. You guys should see my little electrical setup here. It's kind of crazy. Virago says, my brother was drunk yesterday and took a poop on your brother's bed and all over the house too. Is that true? Is that true? Who's your sister, Amber Heard? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, and I wonder on that though, like, why do people become like, yeah. Who was it? George Clooney. I think it was George Clooney. They were talking about his roommate was had this cat and became really concerned about the cat because the cat usually poops once a day and it wasn't pooping. Skippy says, you're still here. I guess I've gone full circle on TikTok. Oh, okay. Well, welcome back around. I'm hopefully you'll stay. So Mitchell says, "How do you believe? Have you tried it?" What do you mean? How do I believe about what? Izza says, "I really wish to meet you, darling, in person." And as soon as I get 10,000 followers, 5,000 on YouTube, and 60,000 minutes per 60 days, I would like to set up in-person things. I'd like to do some public speaking or even just like a meet and greet. So it just may happen one day. Where are you, Izza? But oh my gosh, Virago. How'd you guys handle it? And that's one thing too, though, is that there are times that, when we're trying to figure out, is our person a narcissist, that we have to take into account. Are they alcoholics? Are they using DRUGs? What am I allowed to say anymore? Because I keep getting flagged for stuff. Mitchell says, "How do you know? Have I been killed?" Well, I've had near-death experiences. And it's like I felt like my soul was trying to leave me. So yeah, I can kind of relate to certain things, but no, I have not. No, I have not. Virago says his friend stole his car yesterday and he can't go to work today. Why'd they steal his car? That's not good. And he knows his friend took his car. I know when I was 16, I had a friend living with me and my parents. And so she got something up her butt and she stole our family car. So careful who you let live with you. Look at all that love. Thank you. Mitchell says, "Take a drop of my..." No, I don't want any cursed. No, there's an evil world out there, and I have no desire to be a part of it. Izza says, "You're in Trinidad and Tobago." I don't even know what country is it. Where's Trinidad? Isn't that terrible? I don't know. I've heard of it. I don't know where it is. That's so. Geography is not one of my strong points. I'll tell you that. Virago says the drama is on another level. Sounds like it. And are they in their 20s or are these people 30 on up? So, Mitchell, are you a happy person or a sad person? 35. Uh-oh. I know some people at that age that are still in their high school mode. So, Izza, thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Feel free to hit the like button. But yeah, at 35, we should not be stealing cars. And that's some trust. Is your brother going to press charges? There are times your brother's going through a divorce. You can't go to work today. So is that why he's drinking so much? Because he's going through a divorce. It's hard for him. How long were they married? Well, if you're a god, then why are you dead, Mitchell? And how do you know you're a god? Did you decide? How would one know? The Caribbean. How do I not know that? Maybe we'll do the meet and greet by you. Izza says, "Anything to see your lovely smile, darling. You're welcome." Oh, that'd be amazing. That might be where we have our meetup. I'd love to go. And how do you say it? Caribbean? Say number one, Caribbean, number two. Which way do you say it? Caribbean or Caribbean? One or two? Need to know what's the correct way. That Caribbean Queen, do you remember that song? They also had, what was it, 3 versions? Caribbean, African, and European, right? Just 3? Do you remember that? European Queen, African Queen, Caribbean Queen. That was a good song. 2. Caribbean. Okay, cool. I will say Caribbean from now on. Because I always say it like both ways because I'm like, I don't know. What time am I from? Eastern Standard Time. It is currently 1:18 in the morning. What about you, Mitchell? So Virago says he should call the police. That's what I said yesterday. They've been married for 5 years. What seems to be going on? Why are they getting divorced? And who was the one to to file for that. California, baby. So there's my math. 1018 for you right now, right? It is for me too. Well, good. We're on the same time schedule. I love it. Hi, Earl. Thank you guys for thank you again for liking. Is that because I know how to say Caribbean? Caribbean. I'm saying it the right way. Like I said, data, I say both ways. What else do I say both different ways? Route and route. So yeah, I teach English as a second language, so I let them know which ways. Also, I have certain words where like traveled. Do you guys use one or two L's? I use two. Virago says we don't know, but my guess is your brother is the problem. Uh-oh. So, was he drinking during the marriage? Is that why? So Izza says no because you're beauty filled, my dear. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I try to have a nice perspective on life. So he was drinking during the marriage. And that's the thing. Like sometimes people are like, well, I only have like 2, 3, 4. But when you get to the point where you can't stop or it's altering your personality, where it's more than just to relax. And it's really easy to fall into that because it is an addictive substance to where it can overtake your life and maybe messing the bed too. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to stay married to a pooper. Don't poop in my bed. I'll deal with it if you're sick, but if you're not sick, please don't do that. Um, They have 2 kids. That's kind of sad though. How long did they date? And is there an age difference? That's going to be hard on the kids. Yeah. Hopefully they can get along to where, that's the key. Like if the relationship is going to break up, that, there's still things that we teach our kids, she's 30. Okay. So that's like an average difference. So she got married at 25 and he was 30. Yeah. The brain doesn't stop growing till you're like 26. So, hi, Big John. Look at all the love you guys are giving me. I love that. I love seeing that. That brightens me up. And thank you again for liking it live. I appreciate it. Relationships can be hard, and there are a lot of things that, we start having this image of how it should be, and when it doesn't match up to that, they worry you sometimes. What is it that worries you? Thank you, Izza, saying that I'm someone great. Mitchell Darling says 9. 9. They have great kids. A lot of kids are good. Kids just want to be loved, and unless there's like some brain damage, almost all kids are like so kind-hearted and just wanting to be loved and to share love, and they do want to please their parents, but when they go into survival mode, they don't like getting yelled at all the time, and a lot of times they're still learning, but yeah, hopefully you can spend some time with them and give them a little extra love during this time. And Greg is here. Hi, Greg. What do you mean 9? Ken is here. Ken Klein. What a cool name. I like that name. And thank you, Izza. You're my number 1 supporter so far. What is this go live for the gold? I'm still learning. Are you guys watching the Olympics? 9. Oh, 9 o'clock? 9 what? 9. I love all that love. It helps with the algorithm. He is a good father when he's not drinking, right? And or pooping. Oh, you're so sweet. And thank you, Mitchell. Thank you for liking the live. So yeah, the alcohol can really destroy relationships. See, I'm pretty good. I see you retracting things, but I know your thought process. I know what you guys mean. I'm pretty good at that. And the divorce rate, though, um, a lot of people give up, I think, too soon. Um, or they refuse to work on themselves. Is he just going to keep drinking, because that gets expensive? And there's a lot of times people don't change until they're forced to, until they like crash and they realize they've lost everything. So if you guys are struggling with anything that, to have a better life, sometimes we have to go through the difficult part and heal whatever is causing addictions or outbursts or anger can eat you up. You know when the brain chemistry starts getting changed, it can cause us to act in such a way. Virago says it's a 50% divorce rate in South Africa. um yeah, I was studying a little bit about Africa and the divorce rate. Where was it? One of them had an extremely high. Uh, it's like in the 90%. Not South Africa, but LYK America, like America, right? Like yeah, America is high, and the second and third marriages are even higher. So why is it after you've gone through these relationships that people aren't getting better about it? And some of it is, you know, if you're able to leave a relationship, once you cross that line, it makes it easier to leave again. And it's also tempting to where people kind of make a little bit more rash decisions. Also, how it's a lot easier to get a different partner, whether it's, a temporary fling, so people aren't as scared. Also, people don't have to invest as much. And I think it'd be nice if we went back a little bit to the olden days with the courting and the, waiting. The dating apps, those are dangerous to humanity. There are times that those relationships work out, but it's also like shopping. And Virago says, like the US. Huh. And has it been steady like that, or is it increasing over in South Africa? I know during COVID that changed a lot of things too, to where people stuck together during the pandemic, and some people got stronger because they went through something together, and others just waited to file for divorce. So the statistics on the last couple of years are kind of awkward. I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on. 80% filed by women, and it's like 75% or something in America. So yeah, women are the ones that are filing the most. And there's something to that. So, oh, Isa, thank you for sharing. Yes, share the lives and encourage more viewers. Thank you. Look at all the sharing you're doing. Thank you, Isa. And Shane, good to have you here. Zipper. There is something to that though. Like women, I feel, are seeing that they can become more empowered. They can make more of their decisions. There are more opportunities for them. So they can, work for themselves. They can get credit now. They used to not be able to get credit in their name. I don't know about in South Africa. 90% filed by educated women. And that's the same in Michigan or America is more educated. The women are filing more. So you say no men care. Are you saying not any men care? Or no men do care? You're saying not any men care? Women want money. And I'm not going to lie, there are a lot of women that I see doing that. And it's sad. It's kind of nice that we were able to stay home and raise a family. I think that's great. But you should want to be with the person because you love them. and not because the person has like, six-figure bank account. Children of men, Mitchell says. Oh, I gotta do a little puzzle piece. But yeah, and I think the reason how it says 90% of the women that are filing are educated, I don't think it's because they're smarter women that they see, uh, divorce as an option. I feel that the women that are educated have a higher chance of getting a decent paying job, so they can have a decent, so they're not relying on the man. Um, and yeah, yeah. Uh, and what was it? It was, um, let's see, married men and single women were happy, but the married women weren't as happy. And a lot of it is, there's a lot of responsibilities because in the olden days, the woman took care of the house and the kids. Now, a lot of times it's still the house, the kids, laundry, this, that, plus a full time job. So women are becoming overwhelmed. And, the men are still doing certain things. They might mow the lawn, but are they pulling their fair share? And, a lot of women take on the responsibility of the child or children, and, the dad babysits, or you have to ask permission to have the children watched, so, if they have let's say a doctor's appointment, the women usually just watch the kids, but then they have to like ask the man, and they are not always as excited. So Dragon is here. Thank you for liking the live. Is a star is number one fan so far, but we are popular live. And so Virago says, yeah, it's all about the money now. No love, which is really sad. Some people will go after the money because they're in that survival mode. You see a lot of narcissists doing that because they fly off the handle. They don't like accountability that they have to do at work, to where, you don't like the way something is, they just up and quit, and they don't look at the full ramifications, or they have that grandiose personality where they're like, of course I'm going to be loved. Somebody else is going to hire me right off the bat. And, love, love is not always enough, only for Trump. What's only for Trump? Sharing the love only for Trump? Oh, it's Hoban. Am I saying that right? Hoban. I think that's how you say it. I like saying it that way. Hoban, I remember you. Only for Trump. Mitchell says, I've seen a pickle throw. Well, that's good. Slippery, what did my soul survive? Slippery asks. A lot of narcissistic abuse. So my channel really deals with mental illness, mental health, how to get over toxic relationships, how to, improve our own relationships, our perceptions on certain things, understanding different red flags so we can avoid toxic relationships, to optimize our well-being. Because when you have narcissistic abuse, it causes actual brain damage, and it gets really bad. It's almost like when you go through the silent treatment, it's so abusive. It feels like you're dead, because you're like this is a person that I loved, and they won't even acknowledge me, and you feel like you're in this altered universe. And you spend years like ruminating and going over everything in your mind and taking on blame that is not your fault. And it can destroy you. And there was times it was so bad, it's hard to even function. So getting back to our soul, our true self, because a lot of us lose ourselves in these relationships, and it deals with like building boundaries and being willing to walk away. The hard part is, um, when do we walk away? Or, getting discarded, that there's a lot of toxic people out there, a lot of selfish people. Mitchell says, what is your favorite place? Favorite place to visit or live? And the thinking cup. Your mom likes, my mom likes what? My favorite place, the beach. My favorite place is the beach. So Virago is saying hi to Michael. What is my happiness? My happiness are people. I like doing activities. I like being outside. And yeah, just summer is my happiness. My grandkids, my daughter, family. And, we work so much of our lives. I also do. I do like my job. Teaching English as a second language. It's kind of cool. It's like, I don't know. And it depends on what school I'm at. This is like the perfect school for me. So just a really good match. And I always have Lewis. I think it's Lewis. I always have a problem with that name. Will I ever have two dads? Lewis, how old are you? Mitchell says, what is your inner self? Your inner self, I believe, is your soul, that, your core beliefs. And sometimes, it's still evolving to connect exactly who our inner self is. It takes time to grow into that, to recognize what our hopes and dreams are and what we feel is right. Also letting go. I'm religious. I feel that, we don't always know what's best for ourselves, that sometimes things are taken away that we kind of wanted. But, my dreams, I am really, almost did it today, trying to pick a school. I want to go back and get my master's in psychology to become a counselor licensed in Michigan. I'm Rosicrucian. Rosicrucian. I don't know what that is. What's Rosicrucian? I'm learning new words. What is that? Rosicrucian. Have you heard of that? And Michael, how's it going, Michael? Feel free to join in with any questions that you might have. And yeah, there's narcissism is on the rise with women, unfortunately. And, some people take the easy route. And we got Jay Rockin joining us. I don't know what that word means, though. And thank you, Izza, for sharing the live again. Who do you share it to? Where do you share it? Tell me. Hi, Shannon. And, Virago says, yeah. So yeah, it is on the rise, and there's a lot of entitlement going on. Part of that, are we creating our own little monsters that are going to be in this world? Are we creating, where everybody gets that trophy? People don't have to earn anything as much anymore, that it's almost like given to them. So there's not as much pride, and people don't cherish things as much. It's a type of Christianity, I think. What's a type of Christian? Oh, Rosicrucian? I don't know. You think that's what it is? Mitchell says, Michael, my brother, the archangel. Okay, Mitchell. I thought you were are you an angel or a god? You're changing it on me. He's changing it. And we have to be careful, in all seriousness, that if you are a Christian, that you have one God. And, so some people try to see themselves as their own God. So, yeah, I don't know. Mitchell, I see you saying that again. I don't know what Rosicrucian is. And it's sounding like Catholic with talking about your the archangel. Oh, Virago, I got to be quicker. I just looked down. I couldn't see it. You can look it up for me. My devices are taken. I can't look it up. Close. Okay. So it's close. Okay. It says that people will benefit from your education. Thank you. And that's another reason, is I just want to learn so much about the brain and the inner workings. I see something to the narcissism and borderline, the male and female manifestation of those two. And also the reason I see them as almost like the same thing, but different, because the masculine and feminine, as women are becoming more masculine, where we're getting our CEO jobs and we're taking care of the family by ourselves and all those kind of things, where women are being bumped up into the masculine phase. Also with um, different kind of gender things and homosexuality, things like that, to where there's more masculine females and then there's more feminine men. So that's why, as that shift is going, there's a shift between the narcissism and the borderline. And I really want to do research. That's how I want to do my doctoral thesis on that, to the correlation of the way that women express things versus the way men express things. And now it's coming to the feminine and masculine instead of just traditional male, woman, man. So you've been inundated with information, Mitchell says. Well, hopefully I can inundate you and you can share yours. Isa says, everything will fall into place. Father God Almighty will give you the strength, power, guidance. Very true. But I think the Most High, Virago says. Thank you. Okay. Virago says, Rosicrucian teachings are a combination of occultism. Yeah, I kind of got a feeling of occult stuff and other religious beliefs and practices, including Hermeticism, Jewish mysticism, and Christian agnosticism. I think that's what you meant. Okay. I've never heard that. Interesting, but I felt the occultism because of some agnostic. Okay. Interesting. That's a big old mix. I'll look into that a little bit more. What made you decide to choose that, Mitchell? And Golden King is here. So we're learning new words today. I wonder how many, I've never heard it. Virago, does it say what area of the world is most, like that's where the most of those are? Yeah, we all have different perceptions. I know there's a lot of people too that have drifted away from their childhood upbringing in religion because of shortcomings on the church or people utilizing religion as a manipulation tactic. Also, there are some shady type of religions out there. Mitchell says, choose is a loose term. So, some of us just grow up our whole lives, with our parents' religion. Do we ever even really think about it? So I think it's important for us to know what we believe. Virago says shady pastors. There are a lot of shady people out there. And, it's sad, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Some people take advantage of it to where, they turn into like cult-like things. And, they see it as a way to get people's money or free labor, all those kind of things. And the truth lies. Believe has lies. Lie. Is that what you mean? Interesting. That's an interesting way. Thank you, Isa. And Zaki is here. So, you know, it's sad that even the religious institutions are sometimes shady. That, and that's one thing that I did is I wanted to start going back to church. And, um, I get a little scared of going to certain churches because uh, there's ways that they can sneak certain things in that might not necessarily be what I truly believe. And, with brainwashing techniques and just sliding little things in, you really got to be cautious to which church you settle in on. And there are times too that, I've seen it firsthand. Certain churches are really good churches, and then they get a new pastor or different deacons, elders, whatever, that it can shift a church from good to bad or the other way around. Virago says, LOL, evil is live backwards too. Oh, it is. That's interesting. So we're born into evil if you think about it. And, evil is easier a lot of times. And that's where, we got to learn to be strong and live the good life. When you live the good life, you have a lot more chance of having better opportunities, better people. And, your blessings come when you stick to how things should be. But you also have to be really aware that people can take advantage of that. So we're here to learn about boundaries and blue eyes. Oh my gosh, I got blue eyes too. I like that. Mitchell says the American dream is made in China. And that is so true. Like when I went to China, we're supposed to bring like a gift to our coaches. And so I needed to get 5 gifts, and I'm looking all over all these different stores trying to find a gift from America to bring to China. So I had to read all the different labels because I don't want to bring them something from Honduras or wherever. I wanted them to have an authentic American gift. And that was next to impossible. I ended up on, I looked and looked and looked. I couldn't find like a gift to bring. So I settled on some t-shirts that, said American things, but where were they made? I want to say Honduras and like wasn't the Philippines. And then I did get these really pretty, well, they're up there. I got the same ones. These really pretty measuring spoons that are Martha Stewart, how American is Martha Stewart. But it was, I think, assembled in America, but it wasn't from America or something weird. I think the packaging. So they get, I don't know. But Bill is here. Nice to have you. And thank you for sharing the live. Joe Groovy. Good to have you. So Virago says, do you think English is a spell? Ooh, I'm glad you talked about that. They call it spelling. Hi, Tom. Yeah. Virago says we do call it spelling, the root word spell, and cursive root word curse. There's a lot to that. I need to, oh my gosh, you're going to have to text that on one of my other videos to remind me. Dang it, I don't have a pen with me. I used to be really good about that. I do want to do a video on that because also numerology, things like that. Like the Bible is really numerical. So gosh, I did some research on it. It's not sticking in my head. But certain words we use are, they say are like casting spells. And gosh, I wish I could remember. When did I read that? It was like 2 to 4 months ago. But if you get into it, there's something to it. And that's how we communicate. Gosh, I wish I could remember some examples. Do you have any examples, Virago? Because I definitely wanted to research that more. How do you guys feel about spelling. It is a way for us to communicate with people, to put things down. Also, you think about the Ouija board and how they utilize the spelling to be a portal. Rago says, yeah, good morning. And morning is when someone is, mourning. There, okay. So that was examples like that. Hey, Jason, good to have you here. Prescription. Okay, so it's starting to re-stimulate. It's a laughing matter. You think it's a laughing matter? I don't know. But yeah, where there's a play on certain words. I wish I could remember. Yeah, I wish I had more examples for you guys. But there's quite a few things like that where it makes you go, it's too many. I wonder about different languages too, how that works. I know English is like that. Yeah. What else? I can't think off the top of my head. I'll definitely do more research on that because that I remember how interesting that was. Thank you for liking the live, Kev. I appreciate that, Kevin. We should do a live on this. I would love to. Let me write that down. Or Virago, will you text it to me on another video? That way I get notifications. If not, I'll get up and get a pen. Hi, Johnny. And Will. High value, more examples. Oh, have more. And you will have more examples. Trying to think of the word will. So Mitchell says spelling spelled backwards that are thought of. So yeah, you will have more examples. Okay, perfect. Will has the word ill. Oh my goodness. I just heard something scary. You guys are here to protect me. What did I hear? And you don't have a will till you're dead or utilizing it. What chill? Hey, B. Is that Big X? Papa Itty. So how are you, Big K? Ernest is here. So is Don. Virago. I'm glad you brought. We will definitely do a live. I will do some more research on different words. Also, like, was there something with the shapes too of letters, possibly or not? You're doing good. Good. Mitchell, what? You're supposed to ask me the questions. Yeah. And I'm doing good. A mad tin. I'm doing good. A little bit sick. I've been sick all week, but I'm hanging in there. And so Lewis is here. You saw? What did you see? What did you see? I saw. Oh. Ooh, the piercing eyes, like the saw. SEA. What about C? I'm not seeing anything in C. C. Grisha, nice to have you here. Hope I said that right. And Chris is here. Stevie, we got lots of people joining in and hitting that like button. But you guys are welcome to talk about anything. Salt. Grisha, a single mom. A single mom is a red flag? Is that what you're saying? In America? What do you mean? Are you a single mom or are you saying it's a red flag? There are a lot of single moms in America. So tell me what you mean by that, Grisha. And sometimes it might be a red flag, but there are times that somebody was used and discarded. So just the fact somebody's a single mom, I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but we have to really look at the full picture, but if somebody's like a single mom a bunch of times over, either that person has low boundaries, low self-esteem, or, when somebody starts having 4 or 5 baby daddies within, 4 or 5 years, kind of, be careful out there. Salt, the salt of the earth. I don't see anything in the word salt. Huh. What do you think about that? Hey, Cheeto Chihuahua. What a cool name. But yeah, I like that. We'll do that as a topic request. You guys can let me know what else you guys would like to talk about. I don't mind doing research for our next lives, or if you want to share certain things now, that's fine too. Because there's so much to know. That one video that I did earlier where the guy was concerned, is my ex a narcissist? And, there's so many different variables that we just have to go into the toxicity of it. And is it causing us to act out of character? I know a lot of people want revenge. That is the one thing, without trying to get too like religious or spiritual, that we got to think if there are certain demons, devil, whatever out there, that it is to destroy humanity, trying to get everybody evil. And, are you letting that evil work within you to where you're starting to act in an evil way, getting the revenge? And even if you feel it's justified, is there a better way to handle it? Because that narcissist will come back tenfold. And so I wouldn't take the matters into your own hand. Have faith that, God or the police or whoever is going to take care of it. And William is here. You got lots of people joining. So it is 2 a.m. If you guys would like to talk about a certain thing, we can talk. But if not, I'm probably going to log off, get some sleep. I still, even though I'm on break for one more week, I got to put together my class schedules. So I have to get that done by like 8 a.m. So I got to wake up at 6. I just decided I wanted to hang out with you guys tonight instead of doing the work I was supposed to. We got Donald and Riker and lots of people. Thank you for sharing and liking the lives. But if you want to keep going, you got to give me some topics, guys. Got AG here. I literally can't. You can't? You can't what? Literally. I'm usually pretty good about talk, act. You can't literally talk and act. Is that what you're saying? What am I missing? Oh, we've gone live for 90 minutes. It says, don't forget to take a break. I'm not taking a break yet. But what do you mean by the single mom, Grisha? And Eunice, I don't know how to say that. Welcome. That's the hardest part about teaching, is knowing how to pronounce people's names. But each and every day is, an opportunity to learn. And Mitchell says, light in the I've got figure of. You just want to type. My goodness. Let's see. Ooh, somebody. Let me see. Oh, thank you for following. I appreciate that. We're trying to get to 10,000. Multi-guest host premier ranking. Enticing perks are awaiting. And I don't know how to say your name, AG. I don't know how that goes. So I'm not going to accept that right now. I need to know how to disconnect that AG. Once I know how to hang up, because I had it where I needed to hang up on the person. Not that I'll need to hang up on you, but if I don't have control over my room, then I get too nervous, because I had to completely log out last time. I couldn't get them to hang up. I didn't know how to do it. Jeffrey is here. Good to have you. Virago says the live was fun. Well, thank you so much for joining. I do have a couple of people in here though, so I'll give you guys 1 or 2 more minutes to let me know if there's any topics that you would like to discuss. But if not, I'm going to wish everybody a fantastic evening. I'll be back again tomorrow. I know. I'm sorry, AG. Oh, student pilot is here. And maybe AG, hang in there. Maybe I'll do that. I'll test it out real quick. But YouTube, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining. I'm going to end the live chat with you guys. I will see you again tomorrow evening. Have a great night. And then TikTok.